Sometimes you get lucky and find a nice complete vintage bike. This is not one of those times. Today I've got two old Honda CB350fours, neither of which is anywhere close to running. But the plan is simple. Take the best bits from both and see if we can make one rideable motorcycle. What could possibly go wrong? Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Motorcycle Rewind, and today we've got something special. Not just one Honda CB350four, but two. In hopes of making one good one. Yes guys, we've got two Honda CB350fours, one parts bike and one better candidate. Let's take a look around so we can see what we have. So this is the parts bike, mainly because it's way rustier when you look around. It is way rustier than everything else. Mostly complete. What's not on here is probably in that box down there. It's missing side covers on both sides. The stock air box is right down there. Like I said, mostly there. The master cylinder is in the box down there. The front fender was already taken off. It's going to go on that bike. So, story on this one is that it's got low compression on 2 and 3. 1 and 4 like 110, 2 and 3 I think we're like 80, 85, somewhere in there. So, but I see no reason why that shouldn't run. It's a good candidate. It just looks like it's been, it sank with the Titanic. Although this may be a pretty good candidate of can we do some PDR on here to try to pull some of these dents out, because it is just slightly dented. And I think what happened on these, I think whoever was racing it had one of those thigh machines, you know what I mean, that squeezed it, and they were squeezing pretty hard because they got both sides really good. At least that's my thought. Place your guesses down below. How'd that tank get dented up? But it's not too bad. Like I said, mostly complete. This one has carburetors. It has the Bluetooth rear fender, so there it is. And then let's move on to the other one, the Beauty Queen. And if you look at it, it's a nice looking motorcycle. Apart from it being faded over here, let's start on its good side. It is. You look at it on this side, it is really nice. Pretty. This could still be cleaned up, but the tank, the paint looks good. Nice and faded. Must have sat on a side stand right next to somebody's barn. But has the side covers, has the emblems, seats in good shape. All the chrome looks pretty good. This one wasn't on the Titanic with that one. So our plan is to check the condition of this. Oh, and then it also has the detachable spark. So to check the condition of the cylinders here, pull out the spark plugs, scope them, see if they're good. Put some juice to it and see if we get power running through it. And then, kind of go from there. The carburetors on this guy are going to come off and go here, but this one, just going to assess what's there on both bikes so we can see what we need to do kind of moving forward. And just to give you a heads up, that's what I like to do before I just start pulling parts off. Why not check to see what works on the parts bike or what doesn't work on the parts bike before you start peeling it off to then put it over there? Let's check to make sure the coils, somebody put new coils on this one, let's make sure they work. They're good. We can test them while they're on the bike. All we gotta do is put some juice and check our points, right? And then we know what works. Then we do the same thing over here. So we know what we have, as opposed to just throwing this guy out, the baby with the bathwater, so to speak, because this has 4-into-1 exhaust, which maybe not the prettiest of mufflers, but it could be made to be better. And it looks as though in going over this bike, it looks as though they were maybe an eBay seller or something, because they put everything on it like they were maybe parting it out. Look, even down to here, the shocks. So they may have had all this listed or was going to be listed on eBay, and then they decided to sell it as a whole. That's my guess. I don't know why anybody else would put, you know, identifying that even down to, see the cap? Both of these have the stock handlebars, which normally you see these things changed out because they get bent or something. They've got just that middle rise, which makes them pretty cool. So we'll have to go through everything, make sure it, see what's what, and let's dig in. Let's start on this guy, see what the condition of this motor is, just looking inside of it. Okay, let's go ahead and pull this tank off, just give us a little bit more room for activities. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pull off these spark plugs pretty quick, just so we can look in there and see what's what. Both of them do kick over. I did, since the carbs were off of this one, I did squirt some oil in it while I had, since intakes were open, and then we kicked it over a few times. So let me keep taking these off and I'll get back to you in just a moment. Okay, here are the spark plugs, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see they're all about the same, all pretty rich at some point. And you would think without carburetors that'd be running a little lean. But yeah, let's look inside those and see what's what. All of them are, or at least they're all about the same. Okay, so before I go any further looking in the engine, I just put this little battery on it and just have it wedged in right here. This is just a 12-volt alarm battery. And let's turn the key on. And we do get power, we do get lights. Blinker, that right one works. Let's see, do I get any headlight? Hey, I get headlights. No tail lights. See if I get some brake light. No brake light, but I just have this thing barely plugged in. Let me go ahead and pull off this points cover. Let me see if I can track down some power, see if I have it going everywhere. Okay, let me go ahead and pull these off. Thankfully, these aren't stripped out too bad. And I'm using a JIS screwdriver, so I'll leave a link in the description below for you guys if you're interested in the proper screwdriver for these. And if you're not, you can check out my video. I'll put a link overhead for repairing these stripped screw heads. Like a caveman. You really just beat on it with a hammer. Okay, normally, well, all I'm gonna do to start with is just a test light. Just the cheapy test light from Harbor Freight. I've got the key on. Normally, if I don't get any power up here to the dash, then I have to start from the fuse and work from the battery, the fuse, work my way back. But I've got power from to there, so I can skip that step. And just using the test light, just going to where the points, where they make contact. And if I have light, that means I'm getting power from here all the way to here. So, which is good. That means my power is going from my battery up through my switch. See, if I turn my run switch off, it goes off. So my run switch is working, which is awesome. And it's just letting me know that my power is going through my system and all the way back through to here. Now we can check to see if we get some kind of spark. Okay, so I have a spark plug hooked up. This is in 2 and 3. This one is 1. Obviously it's not gonna, maybe it'll work. We'll check and see. So we'll go to the 2 and 3 side right here. And I'm just looking to kind of ground it, you can see. And I've got spark right there. Pretty good spark. And all I'm doing, you can see, I'm just going between. I know my points need to be cleaned, so it's not sparking right there. But if I short it between, it's working. I'm making contact, so it's working. Clean those contacts and it'll work out pretty good. Let's see the other side. I'm trying to look. I've got a spark plug all the way on the other side. Let's see if I can get it over here. This is for 1. Let's see if I can see anything. Got something. Yahtzee. Yeah, I felt it. I don't know if we saw it, but I felt it. I was leaning on the frame, kind of touching it here. Yeah, I got juiced. So it's got, this is working. It needs to be cleaned up So the question we wanted to answer is do we get spark, our juice running all the way through the bike? And we do. From the battery up to the switch, through the dash, this run switch, down to our points, up to our coils, and out to our spark plug with spark. So that's good. So let's look inside this cylinder. Guys, that's an easy thing to do, and it doesn't take any special tools. I mean, if you have a test light, and you can go get these at Harbor Freight. I think they come in a 3-pack for like $5, $7 tops. And you can do that, and you can test to see. I like to do it to be able to trace down with the light to see exactly where everything is going, so I know what's what. Okay, let's take a look in here, see what we end up with. Going in, yeah. I did just put some oil in it and kicked it over a few times, but I think you can see some cross hatching in there. Yeah, you see some shiny bits. It still looks good. Top of the piston, looks like we got some carbon. But it's not bad. Not bad at all. Let me see if I can kick it a little bit. Let's see if it goes down. Yeah, let's see. That's up all the way. Let me get my camera out of the way so I don't. Okay, I think we should be, yeah, there we go. Yeah, you can see cross hatching in here. You still see it just because, oh, and you see the oil running down, which is okay. I don't mind. Yeah, looks pretty good. Let's move on to the next one. Cylinder number 3. See if we can get in here. Oh, it's up at the top. Let's see if we can kick it down a little bit. Let's see if that's better. Oh yeah. Looks to be more of the same. Not full of rust or anything. Carbon on the pistons, which not a problem. Let's go into number 2. 2 should be in the same position as 3. Let's see what we're looking like. Yeah, more of the same. We're not seeing any carnage. Yeah. Nothing crazy. Cylinders look good. Look at the walls right there. And then number 1. Oh, that should be up at the top, so let's kick that down. Okay, that should be good. Let me get over here. More of the same. Yeah, we're good. And guys, this is not a sponsorship for this, but this is a cool little, super affordable. You use the app and your phone, so you don't have a display, you just have this. You always have this with you, and this is nothing to carry around. And you could have it tomorrow on Amazon for $26.99. If this thing breaks, I'm okay. So it works, and for 26 bucks, you can't beat it. Okay, so I went ahead and cleaned up the points. I've got the key on. I've got the spark plugs just grounded here. And I'm just gonna use my starter button is not working. So I'm gonna use the electric start with the spark plugs out just to turn it over, just so we can get that oil moving throughout that cylinder. And make sure which way it spins. Goes to the front, going to the front, and then let's turn it over. There we go. We've got spark, and we're just turning it over. Got some compression. I'm gonna turn the key off. Yeah, so points are working. Everything's working. I'm just trying to get oil moving around, everything moving. I had kicked it a couple of times with the Kickstarter. We'll figure out why the starter's not working. Okay, let's check and see why this starter is not working. Okay, we got that loosened up. And pull these side covers off. Looking really great shape. These are some of my favorite badges. I think they did a good job. Nice. Oh, a little fuse holder right there. We're missing some fuses. Oh, this wire starter doesn't work. It's missing the thing in between. But let's see. Starter works. Let's put a solenoid in. Okay, the next logical step is to spray and pray, right? Before we get, let's just spray some stuff in here. I know our one cylinder does not have, our one over here does not have sparks, so let's just see if we can make any noise. Yes. Okay, so working on setting the timing, making sure my points were set correctly. So if you look in here, that's the fire mark for 1. I'm on the 2 and 3, so we'll rotate around and keep an eye out right here for this bulb right here to come on. There you go. It's on, and we should be right at the fire mark. Let me back up a little bit. See, it goes off right there, and it comes on right at the fire mark, which we're on right there. It's hard to see back in there, but we're right on with my timing mark and everything right in there. There, maybe that's a little easier. Yeah, right on in there. So we went ahead and set it for both of them. So we're all good. Let's take the carburetor off the other one. Okay, let's go ahead and, before we get into the carburetor, let's go ahead and take this guy off, because we need a coil for the right side because our spark plug wire is broken. So let's go ahead and do that. Take this guy off and this guy off. Okay. Yeah, so I went ahead and changed the coil, putting spark plug back on. I've got spark here, and somebody flipped these. This one is 2 and 3, this one's 1 and 4, but it is connected to the correct coil. So I mean the correct points. They're just on the wrong side. 1 and 4 should be over there, 2 and 3 should be over here. But for right now, we're okay. Let me just tighten this up and tighten this up. And then let's move on to carburetor. Okay guys, we got the carbs off of the parts, CB350four, and supposedly these guys were cleaned, but they don't look like it from the outside. So I'm going to take them home and see if we can clean them up. Just check them out. Just make sure everything's good. I'm going to take them home, do that, and then we'll put them onto this guy. And I also, when I pulled the carbs off, you see I've got a battery here. I did test to make sure that the starter works on this one. And not only do we have spark, but starter works. So this guy may be more than a parts bike. So we may be in the market for a set of carbs for this guy, you know, down the line. And this is definitely going to be a how much can we fix this tank candidate. I don't think we can. The paint looks to be in really good shape, minus some of this duct tape that we got here or there, and this big rust spots. But if we can see if we can pull out this big dent on both sides, that would be kind of fun. See if we can make that thing look a little bit better. Not to keep it, but that would be something we bring to Barber to maybe ride around on, or to use as house money. So it could be fun. So we'll be back in just a moment with these hopefully going on there, and hopefully it going vroom vroom. So just like that, we've got the carb back on. I took it apart, hosed it out, cleaned it out, made sure the jets were clear, put it back together, just so I could just confirm that it was cleaned before. We've got a lawnmower battery hooked up right here, just running temporary for that temporary fuel system. And so let's see if we get this sucker to run. Okay, key on, fuel on, horn works. Let's punch the button. Make sure that's on. There we go. Now let me show you this. So before we we mess around with seeing if it'll start. We got a little floppy. See, the choke is closed. It's supposed to go open right there, but it doesn't stay open. So I think we're missing something right here. I need to look up a parts diagram. And if you know, let me know in the comments, but I think we're missing something right in here. So when we try to start it, I'll have to either I'll probably have to open it up a bit. So let's see what'll happen. Okay, let's see if this key on, fuel is on. Thankfully it's not leaking too. I'm gonna try to I'll have to manually work the choke over here and see what happens. So let's push the button. Oh, hey, but it started. It started. Let me see if I take the choke off a little bit. What? See the choke. Sounds pretty good. Let me turn it off. It's loud. These pipes are loud. It sounds pretty good. The carb needs some work. It needs some adjusting. I need to see if I can adjust the idle, and because it's not there, but the good thing, the carb needs some work. But the good thing is that it runs and it doesn't sound awful. Although we are shooting a lot of stuff out of the back of it. Not this didn't come flying out, but this stuff came flying out of the back. You could see the trail just running. Look, it's on our 754. We'll clean that off. But yeah, it runs. Not too bad. Not too bad. Sort out the coil. We took one coil off of that. We cleaned the points. We set the timing and hosed out the carburetor. It looks like I need to adjust this carburetor right here. There we go. Adjusted. They still need some work. I know we're not there. I like to get it running with what it is. And then every step, every little thing you do, get it running better. So it doesn't bother me when the carb's leaking or anything like that. The float, we can go back through and check them all to make sure it's good. This one wasn't leaking before. The second one over here was, but now it's stopped. And now this one is stopped once I wrapped on it. But yeah, the carb adjustment needs to happen. I did notice that all of these air fuel screws were screwed all the way in. And I backed them all out one full turn. They may need to come out a little bit more, but until I get this choke sorted out. See, if I can get that sorted out, then I can adjust everything. It just doesn't stay open. And I've got to figure that out. I'm not sure what that is. Again, I think it's missing something. I think it's missing a part. I'll go through the diagram, see what I can find. Yeah. But not bad. Sounds pretty good. That's a A350four running. And just for giggles, before I took the coil off of this one, I made sure I had spark all the way through. It's got spark everywhere. And then I shot some starting fluid in the cylinders, and I got it to make some noise. So that parts bike is way more than a parts bike. It's a set of carbs away from running. So I think we may look for a set of carbs, and then I'll bring this guy to Barber and make it available to somebody else in the world. Which Barber Vintage Fest is 7 weeks away. Well, by the time you watch this, probably be about six weeks away. So not too bad. We'll be there, and this bike will probably be there for sale. We'll make it look a lot better than what it does right now. And fingers crossed, we'll make it run. So next steps on this guy, carburetor, start out the carb, get it to idle really good. Then we'll have to go through the brakes and then put it all back together. He's got the fender to put the fender on it, put the tank, clean out the tank. But other than that, let's see if it starts right back up. Let's hit the button, turn the key. I gotta turn my choke off. We can get it to idle down a bit. It's still idling up a little too high, but it's better. It doesn't sound bad. The choke is still off. Yeah, not too bad. Still needs loads of work. But again, it came in, process was, can we take two to make one? We've got one that runs. Not perfect, it runs, right? And we got something we can grow on from here. Now we got next steps and we can make it run better. Yeah, a few more heat cycles. We'll change the oil. We'll go through, and then once we change the oil a couple of times, then we'll go through and check the valves and all that. We did look inside the pistons, inside the cylinders, and they look good. We'll we'll adjust the valves and the cam chain, and although we're not hearing any noise, right? I didn't hear any cam chain noise, so that's good. Starter works, everything works. We did have to replace the solenoid to get that. Thankfully we had one, so we're able to do that. It's nice when you have a parts bike right next to it. So we're able to do that, but yeah, this thing's gonna be nice. Let's put the tank back on it so we can get a good look at it. So guys, there you have it, our 2 to make 1 354s. And I thought this parts bike was gonna be a whole lot worse than what it is. This is a bike that is worthy of putting back together and not just making it a parts bike. Spend a couple $100 and I think we'll have a running motorcycle over there. And then we got this one a little bit further down the road. We're closer. We're not riding it yet, but we're getting close. We still have to go through the brakes. We still have a bunch of work to do on this. But it runs, albeit not the best, but it runs. Hey, that's better than nothing. That's definitely better than what it was before. So guys, I want to thank you for watching yet another episode of Motorcycle Rewind. And do me a favor, like, tag, share, and follow us on Instagram at Motorcycle Rewind. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thanks again, guys, and have a great day. You ever wonder why Honda made a slower, heavier, more expensive 350 than the twin? I think it was just because they could.